All right, let's be real for a second. You've been there. Things are going great. You're feeling good. Maybe you're even thinking this one's different. And then, out of nowhere, it feels like she just pulled back. The text gets shorter, the calls stop. She's suddenly busy. And you're left scratching your head, wondering what the hell just happened. You replay every conversation, every date, trying to pinpoint the exact moment you messed up. And here's the blunt truth. Most of the time, it's not some grand, dramatic gesture that makes her pull away. It's usually a slow burn, a collection of small things you probably didn't even notice you were doing. Things that, from a woman's perspective, scream, run. Today we're cutting through the BS. I'm going to tell you exactly why she pulled away, and yeah, it's probably going to sting a little. But it's going to be honest, and if you actually listen, it's going to help you stop repeating the same patterns. So buckle up, because we're about to dive into the real reasons she started to fade and what you need to change, starting right now. You think being constantly available, always there, always ready to drop everything for her, is a good thing, right? Like that's what a good boyfriend does? Yeah, no. That's usually the first step to her losing interest. You become the guy who's always texting, triple texting if she doesn't reply in 10 minutes, calling just to check in. You're canceling your plans with your buddies for the slightest chance she might be free. You're trying to inject yourself into every single part of her day, constantly seeking connection, and you genuinely believe you're being attentive, showing her how much you care. But what she's actually feeling is smothered. She feels like you're trying to merge into her life a little too fast, a little too intensely. There's no space, no room to breathe, no time for her to actually miss you or wonder what you're up to. You're always just there. It's like trying to drink water from a fire hose. A little is good, a lot just makes a mess. You're taking away the mystery, the chase, the natural ebb and flow that keeps things exciting. And honestly, it makes you look like you don't have much else going on besides her. And before you even think it, yeah, I see chat trying to argue that some women like that. Sure, for a minute, maybe. But the kind of woman who thrives on that level of obsessive attention is rarely the kind of woman you actually want long-term, unless you enjoy dealing with a whole lot of drama. Most women want a partner, not a shadow. They want someone who has their own life, their own friends, their own passions. Someone who adds to their life, not someone who expects to become their entire life. When you're constantly over-texting, over-calling, or just being overly available, you're basically telling her you have nothing more interesting to do than wait around for her. And that's a huge turnoff. It's not about playing games. It's about maintaining a healthy, attractive balance. You have to give her the chance to choose to be with you, not feel like she's obligated because you've cleared your entire schedule for her. When you're always orbiting her world, it's only a matter of time until she feels like she needs some serious distance. This constant need to be in her space often comes from a deeper place, a place where you've let your own life wither. Did you completely delete your friends list after your first date? Seriously. Another huge reason women pull away is when you suddenly decide she is the only thing that matters in your universe. You start dropping your hobbies. Your weekly poker game? Gone. The gym routine you were so proud of? Maybe next week. Your friends? What friends? You've essentially made her the sun around which your entire world now revolves. You're waiting for her to make plans. You're asking her what she wants to do. You're molding your schedule perfectly to fit hers. You become this chameleon, taking on whatever interests she has, even if you couldn't care less about them a month ago. And you think you're being supportive, flexible, eager to share her world, but from her perspective, you've just become less interesting. She fell for a guy who had a life, who had passions, who had his own drive and purpose. When you give all that up, you're not just losing yourself, you're losing what made you attractive in the first place. You're putting the entire burden of your happiness and fulfillment onto her shoulders. That's a heavy weight, dude. Imagine meeting someone who, after a few weeks, has no personal goals, no independent social life, no fire in their belly for anything but you. It's not romantic, it's suffocating. She wants to be part of an exciting life, not be your entire life. Women want a partner with whom they can share adventures, grow, and build something together. If you've stopped building your own life, what exactly are you bringing to the table besides her reflection? You have to maintain your own identity, your own core. Keep your friends, keep your hobbies, keep your ambitions alive. That's what keeps you a dynamic, interesting individual. Otherwise, you're just a shell. And frankly, that's not something anyone wants to stick around for very long. When you lose your own purpose, you also stop putting in the kind of consistent effort that truly keeps her invested. Remember when you actually put on decent clothes for a date? Like clothes that didn't have questionable stains or weren't designed for a couch marathon? That's not just about appearances. It's about the effort. One of the quickest ways for a woman to pull away is when you get comfortable. And I don't mean comfortable like you can fart freely in front of each other. I mean comfortable like you've decided the work is done. You stop planning dates. Or if you do, it's always the same low-effort routine. The compliments disappear. The thoughtful gestures, the small things that showed her you were thinking about her, those become a distant memory. You stop trying to impress her because, hey, she's yours now, right? The chase is over. You've got her. This isn't just about making her feel pretty. It's about making her feel valued, seen, and appreciated. When you stop putting in effort, she starts to feel taken for granted. She might think, does he even care anymore? Does he even see me anymore? It signals a lack of investment on your part, and it makes her question her own worth in the relationship. She put in effort too, you know. She probably still is. But if she's the only one watering the plant, eventually it's going to die. Or she's going to find a different garden. You can't just flip a switch and expect her to stay engaged when you're phoning it in. Love and attraction are active verbs. They require continuous input. You need to keep dating her, even when you're already dating her. You need to remind her why she chose you in the first place. Otherwise, she's going to start looking for someone who does make her feel like an active participant in an exciting connection, not just a passive object that's already won. This complacency often goes hand in hand with an even bigger problem, ignoring the subtle or not so subtle signs she's giving you. She told you she was busy 3 times this week, but you kept pushing for coffee on Saturday. Sound familiar? Another classic move that makes women pull away is your absolute inability to read the room, or more accurately, to listen. Not just to her words, but to her actions, her tone, her body language. She might be subtly hinting that she needs space, or that something's bothering her, or that she's feeling neglected. But you, my friend, are either completely oblivious, or you're choosing to ignore it because it doesn't fit your narrative. You're so caught up in what you want, more time with her, to fix something, to just be near her, that you miss what she needs. You ask her how her day was, and she gives a short, clipped answer, but you launch into a detailed breakdown of your own day anyway. Or she expresses a concern, and you immediately try to fix it, instead of just listening and validating her feelings. This isn't just annoying, it's deeply frustrating and isolating. It makes her feel unheard, unvalued, and like you don't actually care about her internal world. She feels like you're talking at her, not with her. And if she feels like she can't communicate with you, or that her feelings will just be brushed aside, she's going to stop trying. She's going to withdraw. She'll start pulling away because it's easier than constantly trying to get you to understand. Listen, really listen to what she's saying and doing. Pay attention to the subtle shifts. If she's suddenly less communicative, less engaged, don't just bombard her with more attention. Ask her, calmly and genuinely, if everything's okay, and then listen to the answer without judgment or immediate problem solving. Show her you see her, you hear her, and you respect her. Otherwise, she's going to find someone who actually makes her feel like her thoughts and feelings matter. And sometimes, you're not just missing signals, you're actively sending out signals of your own that scream insecurity. Do you still like me? Are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong? If these questions are a regular part of your vocabulary, especially when there's no real reason for them, then yeah, you're likely pushing her away with your insecurity. Women don't want to constantly reassure you of your worth or their feelings. They want to be with a confident, self-assured man. When you're constantly fishing for compliments, needing validation, or making every minor disagreement into a dramatic emotional crisis, it's exhausting. It puts a massive emotional burden on her. She's not your therapist, she's not your mother, and she's not responsible for building up your self-esteem. That's your job. This emotional immaturity is a huge turnoff. It shows that you're not comfortable in your own skin, that your self-worth is dependent on her approval. And honestly, it makes you seem weak. Imagine you're dealing with a guy who constantly needs to know if he's still okay, if you still like him. It gets old, fast, it's draining, and it signals that you're probably bringing a lot of unresolved emotional baggage into the relationship. She wants a partner who is stable, who can handle his own emotions, and who isn't going to collapse if she has a bad day or needs some personal space. She wants to feel like she can lean on you sometimes, not like you're constantly leaning on her for emotional support. Build your own confidence, work on your own issues, and come to the relationship as a whole person, not as someone looking for her to complete you. Otherwise, she's going to feel like she's constantly walking on eggshells, trying to manage your feelings, and eventually, she'll just walk away from the whole situation. This emotional insecurity also shows up when you have no boundaries, letting her dictate the entire dynamic. So, she cancels at the last minute for the third time this month, and you still offer to pick up her dry cleaning? Seriously? This is a classic example of having no self-respect and no boundaries, and it's a guaranteed way to make a woman pull away. When you constantly bend over backward, when you let her get away with disrespect, when you say yes to everything even when it's a huge inconvenience or makes you feel bad, you're essentially training her to treat you like a doormat. You're telling her that your time, your feelings, and your needs don't matter as much as hers. And here's the kicker. She won't respect you if you don't respect yourself. You might think you're being a good guy by being flexible and accommodating, but there's a massive difference between being a good partner and being a pushover. A good partner has his own standards, his own lines, and his own self-worth. He communicates his needs and expects them to be met just as he meets hers. A pushover just takes whatever is given, hoping that constant compliance will earn him love and affection. It doesn't. It earns you resentment and a quick exit. Women are attracted to strength, to a man who knows what he wants, what he deserves, and isn't afraid to communicate it. She needs to know you have a backbone, that you're not just going to roll over every time she challenges you or disrespects your time. Set clear, reasonable boundaries. Say no when you mean no. Value your own time and energy. If she cancels at the last minute, a simple, "Oh, that's a shame. I was looking forward to it. Let me know when you're free next week," is enough. Don't immediately try to reschedule or offer to do favors. Show her you value yourself, and she'll start to value you too. If you don't, she's going to quickly lose respect for you, and without respect, attraction fades faster than your internet connection midstream. All right, so you've heard the tough love. You've probably recognized a few of those patterns in your own life. And you're sitting there, maybe a little defensive, maybe a little defeated, wondering, okay, GG, how do I fix it? Here's the blunt truth. You stop trying to fix her, and you start fixing you. You stop focusing on what you can do to get her back or to keep her around, and you start focusing on becoming the kind of man she would never want to pull away from. This isn't about manipulation, it's about genuine self-improvement. First, rediscover your own life. Go back to your hobbies, hit the gym, reconnect with your friends, pursue that passion project you put on the back burner. Build a life that is so rich and fulfilling that you wouldn't want to give it up for anyone. When you have your own purpose, your own drive, you automatically become more attractive. You'll radiate an energy that says, "My life is awesome, and I'm looking for someone awesome to share it with, not someone to complete it." Second, cultivate genuine self-respect. This means setting boundaries and sticking to them. It means valuing your own time and energy. It means not tolerating disrespect, not from her, not from anyone. When you respect yourself, she will respect you. And respect is the foundation of lasting attraction. Third, give her space. Not as a game, but because you genuinely have enough going on in your own life that you're not constantly thinking about her every second. Let her come to you sometimes. Let her wonder what you're doing. The absence of constant presence often makes the heart grow fonder, and it allows her to actually miss you and appreciate your company when you are together. This is about becoming a challenge, not a commodity. Someone interesting, not someone easily acquired. Someone who has options because his life is so great, not someone who makes her his only option. All these behaviors boil down to a fundamental understanding. Attraction is earned and maintained through consistent self-value and a life well lived. Look, nobody likes to hear they're the problem, but if you keep seeing women pull away and you keep wondering why, it's time to stop looking at them and start looking in the mirror. She pulled away, not because you weren't good enough, but because you probably stopped being the man she was initially attracted to. Or you never truly were that man in the first place. You got needy, you lost your purpose, you became complacent, or you simply didn't respect yourself enough to earn her respect. The good news? Every single one of these things is fixable. This isn't about changing who you are. It's about becoming the best, most authentic version of yourself. The guy who has his own life, his own boundaries, and his own self-worth. That's the man women are drawn to. And that's the man who keeps them. Stop trying to win her back by doing more of what pushed her away. Start winning yourself back first. If any of this hits home, and you've recognized some patterns in your own relationships, I want to hear about it. Drop a comment below and let me know what you're going to focus on first to get your own house in order. And if you want more real talk like this, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, stay sharp, gamers.